or any task, you will write a program first, right? Program using any high level language, that is called program. What is meant by process? Anyone having idea about process? What's the difference between program and process? Okay, process represent program in execution. Okay, process represent program in execution. When you load the particular program in memory for execution, that is called as process. Okay, if you want to execute a program, initially the process will be loaded in memory. So, the system call provides the way of interacting the process with the operating system. Okay, system call provides interface between the process and the operating system. And there are these system calls are written using assembly level languages. You know what is assembly level languages? What is the assembly level languages? Okay, you know those high level languages, lower level languages, as well as assembly level languages, right? So, what is meant by high level languages? High level languages, the languages that are understandable by the human or user or the programmer. It may be a C language, C++, Python, Java. Okay, these are high level languages. What is low level language? Low level language. Machine level language. Low level languages can only be understood by the system. It cannot understand by the user or programmer. Okay. Then what is assembly level languages? Okay, this is the language in between the high level and the low level. And these languages are written in the form of mnemonic codes. Mnemonic codes, example, add, subtotal. Each and every mnemonic codes will have some opcode, operation code. Okay, so the system call provides interface between the process and the operating system. Through the system call only, the process can give commands to the operating system. And these system calls can be returned using assembly level languages. And there are 5 categories of system calls. Note down the categories. The first category is process control. Okay, there are 5 categories of system calls are available. In that, the first category of system calls is process control system calls. These system calls are used to control the process. Process means it is a program in execution. The program that is loaded in memory for execution is called as process. So, to control the process, there are many system calls are used. The first one is end abort. It means end and abort represent one of the process control system call. So the use of this end and abort is when the process is executing normally and after executing the program, if the process terminates, means it is called as end. The normal execution and normal termination is called as end. Suppose if there are any errors present, means if the program or process terminates abnormally, means it is called as abort. It can be represented by the system call abort. So end represents a system call to represent normal execution and normal termination of the process. If the process terminates after executing successfully, then it is called as then it is represented as system called end. Of course, if there is some errors or some exception present in your program and the program terminates abnormally, means that can be represented by using the system call abort. Okay. The next type of system call is load and process, this system called by the operating system, execute system call. For loading the program, the system call is load. Then create process, terminate process. Create process and terminate process. This create process system call is used to submit a particular process for execution. That is, initially all the processes are stored in the process pool. Right? Whatever the processes that are ready to execute will be stored in the process pool. P1, P2, P3, P4, etc. N number of processes can be stored in the process pool, and all these processes cannot be loaded into memory. Why we cannot load all the processes in memory? Because the memory size is low, right? We cannot load all the program. So the process which is going to execute first can be loaded into memory for execution. So to submit the process in memory for execution, we can use this system called create process. If the process is ready to execute, or if the process is submitted in memory for execution, then that can be represented in the system called create process, or we can say that submit process. Submit process. If the process is ready to execute in the memory, that can be represented by using the system called create process, or we can say it as submit process. And after execution of particular process, it will terminate. So that can be represented by the system called terminate process. So for submitting the process for execution, the system call is submit process or create process. If the process completes its execution, then it can be terminated. That can be represented with the terminate process. Then the next system call is get process attribute and set process attribute. Get process attribute and set process attribute. Okay, when we have number of classes, each and every process can have some of the attributes. Do you know what are the attributes of a process? Attributes. Okay, if you take student, what are the attributes of a student? Name, roll number, age. Okay, so for file in the case of classes, so what are the attributes of a process? Classes, we have a number of classes. In that classes, what are the attributes? Classes, each and every process can have different process ID, unique ID, right? So process ID is one of the attributes. Then any other attribute process can have is size, the length or size of the process. Then process time, that is the execution time, CPU execution time, the time needed for executing a process, or we can say it as response time. Okay, so the process can have attributes such as process ID, size of the process, and response time. Okay, so these attributes can be get by the system called get process attribute, and if you want to set the attribute of particular process means that can be performed by using the system called set process attribute. Okay, then next one is wait for time. wait for time. That is, if the process wants to wait for some time, that is, time can be represented within milliseconds. This system call is used to wait for some process in a particular period. Okay, if you want to wait the process for some period, that can be performed using the system called wait for time. Then, if you want to make the process to wait for some specific event to occur, that can be represented using wait event. If you want to make the process to wait for some time, that can be represented wait for time. Okay. If you want to make the process to wait for some other specific event to occur, ஏதாவது event நடக்கிற வரைக்கும் wait பண்ணணும் அப்படின்னா this system call is used to wait. Then, suppose the particular event is completed, that can be indicated by signal event. If the particular event completes means that can be represented in the system called signal event. Okay. Then last one is allocate and free memory. That is when a process is loaded into memory for execution, it will occupy some space, right? Space in the memory. If the process completed means, or if the process finishes its execution, that process will be removed from the memory, and the particular memory space can be allocated for some other process waiting for execution. In the memory, we can able to store classes in the free space. That is, memory is kernel. Kernel represents the core of the operating system. Then some interpreter will be available for the execution of program. This is for MS-DOS operating system. You know what is MS-DOS? Microsoft DOS. This is the first operating system invented by Microsoft. DOS represents this operating system. Okay. Here in the memory, some free space. These are free space, free memory. In this free memory, we can able to load the classes, okay, for execution. Here in the MS-DOS operating system, it will allow only one program for execution at a time. So only one program will be allowed here for execution. Okay, suppose this process completed its execution means this process will be removed from the memory, and again some other process P2 will be loaded into the memory for execution. This is for MS-DOS. But in the Unix operating system, it will allow multi-programming. That is, more than one process can be executed in the memory at the same time. So in the Unix operating system, kernel represents core of the operating system. Then some command interpreter is available for executing our process or program. Then in the free memory, we can able to load multiple tasks. According to the space available in the main memory, we can able to load many processes in the memory for execution. Here, it is having enough space for storing three processes. Process P1, P2 and P3 are loaded in memory, and these three processes are executed simultaneously. And when these three processes completed its execution, all these processes will be removed from the memory, and the remaining process in the job pool will be loaded in memory for execution. That is performed by allocate and free memory. If the process completes its execution, then that memory is free or released using the free system call. Then, if some other process wants to load it or wants to get the particular memory location, that can be allocated using the allocate system call. So these are the various system calls available under process control. This is the first category of system called process control. In process control, there are many system calls are available to control the process. Process means it is a program in execution. The first one is end or abort. End represent system call to represent normal execution or normal termination of the process after executing the program. If the program terminates normally, means that is represented by the system call end. Okay, abort. Suppose of course if any errors present in, can you say some of the errors that can occur in your program? So when you compile your program, what are the various types of errors? Runtime errors, exceptions, some exceptions, arithmetic exception, array in the index out of bounds exception, then divide by zero error, syntax errors. Then if you want to access the memory location that is out of bounds, then there is some problem. Or if you use floating point value to represent the array index, it will report error, right? To represent array index, always we need to use which integer, right? For to represent array index, we cannot use floating point number. So if you use floating point number, means it will report error. So if the process executes abnormally because of some error, means that can be represented using abort system call. Then load and execute. It is for loading and executing process in memory. Load system call is used to load the program and execute for execution. And create process or submit process is used to submit the process from the job pool to the memory for execution. Or the process that are ready to execute is called as that is represented as submit process. Then if the process terminates its execution, that is represented by the system called terminate process. Then get process attribute, set process attribute. If there are many attributes are available for a process. It may be a process ID, then size of the process, then priority of the process, then response time of a process. These are various attributes. Okay. So if you want to get the attributes of the particular process, that can be get using system called get process attribute. If you want to set the attribute of particular process, that can be set using set process attribute. Then wait for time. If the program or process needs to wait for some time, that is if it want to wait for 1000 milliseconds, that can be represented by using system called wait for time. Then wait even if the process needs to wait for some other event to happen, means that can be represented wait even. Suppose that particular event is completed, then it can be represented using signal. Then allocate and free. Allocate system call is used to allocate memory for new process that are ready to execute in the memory. Then free system call is used to release the memory of the process that are already executed. Execution complete பண்ண process memory வந்து free பண்றது free system call. Okay, if you want to allocate memory for the new process, that can be performed by allocate system call. Can you understand all the process control system call? Okay, the next category is file management. File management system call. File management system call. File management system call. What is meant by file? Collection of data. Okay. Can you say what are the attributes of the file? File name, file size, file type. It may be a text file, image file, audio file, video file, any file type. Then file permission. Some file can have read permission, some file can have write permission also. Okay, so for performing the file management, some system calls are used. The first one is create file, delete file. Then second one is open, close, read, write, and reposition. Get file attribute and set file attribute. So for file management, these are the system calls used. Create file, delete file, open, close, write, reposition, get file attribute, set file attribute, get file attribute, set file attribute. So if you want to write any content in a file, first you need to create a file, right? So create file is the system call used to create a file. Then after creating a file, you need to open it. If you want to read some contents, or if you want to write some contents in the file, you have to open it. After creating a file, you have to open it. Then you can perform either read operation, write operation, or repositioning operation. Then after performing the operation, you can close the file, or if the file is no more needed, then you can delete the file. Okay. So for file management, create file system call is used to create a file. After creating a file, you can open a file using open system call. Then you can perform write operation, or you can perform read operation or reposition. That is reposition means moving the file from one location to other location. Then after using the particular file, you can close the file, and if the file is no more needed, if the file is not needed, you can able to delete the file also. Okay. Then get file attribute system call is used to get the attribute of a file. What are the attributes of the file? Dhanush, what are the attributes of file? File name.
What type of file?
Which type of file?
Location.
Yes, location.
Size.
Size. Okay. So file attributes can be a name of the file, then type of file, then size of the file, then file permission can be a read permission or write permission. Okay. So these attributes can be get by using get file attribute system call. Suppose if you want to set the attribute of a particular file, that can be set using set file attribute. Okay. So these are the various file management system calls. Then third category, next category is device management. Device management. The third category of system call is device management. Device management. Do you know what is device? Device. Can you say example for device? Devices. If a user program is executing at that time, what are the devices it needs? Sometimes it may need some I/O devices, some files. It can need some files or some any other devices or some memory. Some user program needs some memory. So the devices can be I/O devices such as printer or tape drives. Nowadays, tape drives are not used. Then some I/O devices, then some program needs some files for reading and writing, and some program needs some memory. Okay, so these are the devices needed when the user program is executing. So the system calls for performing device management. The first one is rector's device. Then release device. Suppose the user program wants to get some I/O device that is printer means that particular device can be requested using the system called request device. Suppose after performing some operation, if it needs to release or free the particular device means that can be released using release device system call. Next, read, write, read system. Okay, suppose the user program needs to get a file. File means that file can be read using read system call. That file can be returned using write system call. Then read position can also be performed. Read position. Next one is get device attribute and set device attribute. Get device attribute is used to get the attributes of particular device that are used by the user program. Suppose the user program is using file names, attributes of file can be a file name, file type, file size, permission, all these are attributes. Suppose the user program is using some I/O device, printer means what are the attributes? Can you say what are the attributes of a printer? Printer name, printer ID, model. Okay. So the attributes of a particular device can be get using get device attribute system call. Then attributes of particular device can be set using set device attribute. Then if the device, if you want to attach the particular I/O device means that can be attached using attach system call. Then if you want to remove the particular I/O device, that is detach. So these are the various device management system call. In the device management system call, we can the user program can able to get some other devices. Example, it can be a devices file, or it can get some memory location. So if the user program wants to request some device that can be requested using request device system call. After using the particular device, if the user program wants to release the device that can be released using release device system call. Then if the user program get any file as a device means that file can be read using read system call, it can be returned using write system call, or it can perform reposition operation also. Then to set the device attribute, set device attribute is used for getting the attributes of the device, get device attribute. Then lastly, attach or detach system calls are used to attach the particular I/O device or detach the device. The next category of system call is information maintenance. and the information, whatever information that we can get from the your operating system. You have take some commands, right? Now give some Unix commands in your lab, right? So whatever commands used to get date and time, which command is used to get date command. So for making the date, the system call used to get the time is get time system call, get time or date. Then system call used to set the date and time as set time or date. Information means the information that are obtained from the operating system. That is, if you want to get the date and time from the operating system, means the system call is get time or date. If you want to set the time, means the system call is set time or date. Then to get the details of the system data, get system data. And to set the data, set system data. Then get process. Find or device these are the various information maintenance system call. There is information maintenance, the information that are obtained from the operating system is called as information. If you want to get the date and time, the system call is get time or date. Then if you want to set the date and time, set time or date. Then if you want to get the information about your system, that is get system data. Get system data, system call is used to get the system data. Then if you want to set the system data, set system data, system call is used. Then if you want to get the attributes of process, you can get the attributes of process, file as well as device. What are the attributes of process? Attributes of process. Process name, process ID, then response time, then priority of the particular process, then size of the process. Okay, so if you want to get the process attributes, this is used. Then file attribute. You can get the file attribute also. File name, file type, file size, file permission. All those things can be retrieved using get file attribute. Then device attribute. For device attribute also, you can able to get the device ID, device name, or any other information. Then for setting the process attribute, file attribute, and the device attribute, the system call is set process file or device attribute. And the last category of system call is communication. The last category of system call is communication. So what is meant by communication? Communication. Okay, there may be communication between two computers, or communication between two classes, or there may be communication happens between two systems, or it can happen between two classes, or it can happen between two users. Okay, in your lab, you have communicated with all the users using one command, right? What is that? Wall command. Okay. So, here communication represents the communication that are happening between two systems or two computers for sharing the information, or communication that are performed between two classes while executing. That is, if one process needs the data available in another process, means these two processes can be communicated. That can be called as inter-process communication. You can say it as inter-process communication. Or one user also can be able to communicate with other user. Okay. So for communication, the system called user. The first one is to communicate two devices or two person or two processes. We need to create a connection first. So for creating connection, create system called user. And for deleting the connection, delete system call. So for communication, to happening the communication between two processes or two users or two computers, first step is we have to create a connection. So connection can be created by using create system call. And the communication can be terminated or deleted using delete system call. Then after creating the communication, what's the next step? Communication create பண்ணியாச்சு. Next என்ன பண்ணணும்? Communication establish பண்ணியாச்சு. அதுக்கப்புறம் communicate பண்ணணும். Only communicate. For sending messages. To send and receive messages. Send, receive messages. The next system call is transfer status information. Status information about the users those who are communicating can be assigned by using status information. Then another one system called attach or detach remote devices. Attach and detach the remote devices means to attach the devices that are located in different location, remote location. If you want to communicate with the devices that are located in another location, that can be performed using the system called attach system call. If you want to terminate the connection, that can be performed detach system call. So in communication, these are the various system calls. That is, if two processes want to communicate with each other, or two persons want to communicate with each other, or two computers want to communicate with each other, means the first step is we have to make a connection or create a connection between the two parties. Okay, and for creating a connection, the system called is create. If the connection is no needed, means you can delete the connection. Then after making the connection, the communication is performed by sending and receiving the messages. So these system calls are used for sending and receiving the messages. Then status information about the user can be obtained by using transfer status information. Then if you want to communicate with the devices that are located in remote location, that can be attached using attached system call. If you want to terminate the connection with the devices that are located in remote location, that can be performed by detached remote devices. Okay? And in this case, communication, there are two types of communication. The first one is message passing, and the second one is shared memory. There are two types of communication available: message passing communication and shared memory communication.